Another takeout classic that's way better and better for you at home is sweet and sour pork. Ultra tender pork tenderloin and sauteed peppers and onions coated in a perfectly balanced sauce, ready in about 25 minutes. What's not to love? Try it with chicken, shrimp, or even tofu. Let's start off by grabbing about 1.5 pounds pork tenderloin, and by the way, sorry for the poor focus here, but just going to cut this down into medallions and then chop those in half and then into roughly 1-inch bite-sized pieces. Most important thing here is just try and get them all of a roughly even size so that they cook evenly in the sauce. Speaking of that sauce, it's going to involve some honey, about 1/2 cup, a few tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. By the way, as always, exact amounts will be down below if you don't want to take notes. A few tablespoons of soy sauce for saltiness and umami. A couple tablespoons of water just to help thin things out. And then optionally, I put a little sriracha in for some heat, but you don't have to do that. 3 tablespoons of tomato paste and a tablespoon of cornstarch. Using a spoon or a whisk, go ahead and combine that as thoroughly as you can. You'll want to stir it up again before you put it into the pan to make sure everything is evenly combined. Speaking of that pan, I've got a large non-stick skillet, but you could certainly use a wok. I'm going to add in a couple tablespoons of olive oil and then all of our pork tenderloin over medium-high-ish heat. Try and spread it out into a single layer so we can get a little color on that first side, and then after 2 to 3 minutes, got a little bit of color. Go ahead and give everything a flip. Give it 2 to 3 minutes more. It's not going to be cooked all the way through at this point. We just wanted to get a little color because color is flavor. Go ahead and remove that pork from the skillet. Next up, we'll add in a tablespoon of freshly minced garlic and a tablespoon of freshly minced ginger. Stir all of that around in that hot oil for about 30 to 60 seconds just to wake up the aromatic flavors. And I'm going in with about 1/2 of a small white onion, and then 1 red bell pepper and 1 green bell pepper that I diced. Did most of my prep work off camera because I'm pretty sure if you've been a follower of this channel for any time at all, you've seen me cut onions and peppers. And I need to get you back to your day as quickly as possible. I'm adding in an 8-ounce can of pineapple chunks and pineapple juice, and I left about half the juice in there just to help deglaze the bottom of that skillet and to help thin out our sauce. We'll return the pork to the pan, and we're going to season up with some fresh cracked pepper, and I'd say a pinch of salt. There's a lot of sodium in the soy sauce, plus you can always add more later, so a light salting right now just to make sure we have enough seasoning through and through. Then go ahead and add that sauce in, bring it up to a simmer. Once it comes to a simmer, it's going to thicken up almost right away thanks to that cornstarch, so at that point just turn it down to medium or medium-low and cook it until the pork is cooked through and the sauce has reduced down to your liking. Should take about 4 to 5 minutes. At that point, go ahead and bowl this up. I recommend some nice steamed white rice, but some noodles would be just fine. Or if you're going low carb, then just have the sweet and sour pork all on its own. Garnish it with some green onions, of course, and I like my tuxedo sesame seeds, but that's really optional. Now, if you've ever had this stuff from a takeout place, chances are your pork was deep fried. I skipped that step altogether, not because it's not delicious, but I'm not a huge fan of deep frying or even shallow frying at home when I can get away with it. And the star here really is 2 things: that perfectly balanced sweet and savory sauce and that super tender pork tenderloin. Don't need to deep fry it to get both of those things, so I recommend doing it this way. Also comes together in like 25 minutes if you're good with a knife, so easy, quick, tasty, and affordable. That checks a lot of great boxes. Now you can get out of here and go make something delicious.